So really, welcome to everyone. Thank you guys for coming out. And for the dealers that couldn't make it this evening, and our financial institutions and international suppliers who are tuning in, thanks for taking the time. These kind of events are the backbone of the South African cycling industry, and we haven't had the chance to do them over the last couple of years, and we're actually very happy to be back. Core for us at Rush Sports is the belief that people do business with people. Now, some of the people in attendance today from our team will be Andre, the founder of the business. He heads up all of our operations out of Johannesburg. We've also got Nate and Brad from our senior sales team up in Joburg. And of course, we've got Ollie, the man who normally dons a mullet. He's looking remarkably put together this evening. And he heads up all of our content creation, our marketing, and he happens to be very handy on a bike too. Now, people doing business with people is core for us at Rush Sports, but core to the people at Rush Sports is We Ride and the We Ride culture. Now, it's something we all try to embody, it's what we do, and it's in our DNA as cyclists. We've got ex-pro roadies, downhillers, BMX racers, we've got marathon and cross-country specialists, all who form part of this diverse team of our business and form part of the We Ride culture. And ultimately, it gives us the ability to generally bring what the South African bicycle industry needs through our own experiences collectively. We are nearing the true midpoint of the year right now, and it certainly has been a challenging one from many fronts, but I want to look back at three very big positives for us as a business since the beginning of the year. At the start of the year, we started off with an announcement that we've signed a multi-year deal with Pond Bike Performance Brands. This brought in the Cervelo brand into our portfolio and accompanied our Santa Cruz and Reserve wheels. Now, it's a new, exciting segment for us, and it's an area that we see great growth prospects, which we're really quite excited for. For context, Pond Bike is the biggest bicycle company in the world by revenue. So for Rush Sports to have at least their backing for the next 5 years is a really, really great thing for us, and we're looking forward to many good years to come. The next big project that we embarked on was putting together a very successful program that allowed us to race the new Signal Spectre at the 2023 Cape Epic. It was piloted by none other than Ollie Munich and his partner Rogan Smart, and we'll have them up here shortly to just get some ins and outs and a blow-by-blow account. Ollie's stories are always exciting. And kind of understand how the bike handled arguably the toughest multi-day stage race on the planet. Thirdly, supplier visits and international travel was another major positive for us. During the Cape Epic, while they were racing, I traveled across to Taiwan and was able to visit the Taipei show, and it was actually the first time that we had seen our dealers in person since the pandemic started, and it was really long overdue. The trip of mine was also a precursor to Brandon and Philip heading across, and they were able to do a marathon trip through there. I mean, they did 17 days non-stop on the road, and they were able to visit factories of new and old suppliers, and we were really able to get moving on some of the new projects that we've got planned, which you'll hear a little bit more about later. A fun fact about Philip and Brandon is between the two of them, they've got 86 trips to China. So as you can imagine, they can drink sake and rice wine with the best. So obviously, amongst other things and the other challenges we've had, the major positives were the agreement with Pond Bike for a multi-year agreement, Team Signal launching the Signal Spectre successfully at the 2023 Cape Epic, and obviously getting to see our international suppliers again. In the second half of the evening, I'm going to explain to you what we've got planned for Q3, Q4 of this year and beyond. But I think to truly understand the future and what's ahead, you first need to understand the past. And I thought I'd use this opportunity to give you guys a brief rundown and a concise timeline of Rush Sports. In 2007, Rush Sports was founded by Andre as a niche cycling distributor. If you fast forward a couple years, in 2016, Brandon Els acquired the majority stake in the business after his restraint of trade. 2017 for us was quite a big year, and it saw two major brand partnerships. Santa Cruz was relaunched in the South African market, and we were also appointed the Maxxis distributor. 2018, we launched Apex Bikes into the South African market, and then in 2019, which also worked out to be quite a big year for us. We relocated from our original offices in Pietermaritzburg to our new distribution center out of Johannesburg. In that same year, we launched Signal Bikes into the South African market. We had 4 years of craziness during the pandemic in the cycling industry, and I think we've all got notable stories there. But we'll move forward through to 2022. I acquired a minority stake in Rush Sports, and in 2023, on the 1st of January, I was appointed CEO of the business. Brandon else moved into a position of chairman. He heads up all of our international supplier relations, and obviously he is in charge of the financial element of our business. Andre continues his role as COO of the business, handling all of our on-the-ground operations. So that obviously brings us to the present, and one of the reasons that we're here. With us this evening on stage is the Signal Spectre, the bike that Ollie raced at the 2023 Epic. Now, this is a very big step for us as a brand, and it signals our evolution into new market segments. It shows you our commitment to you guys as our South African retailer network to constantly grow the range and ultimately bring world-class product into your stores. When we embarked on the project of a dual suspension bike, we decided that there were 6 non-negotiables for us. Number 1, it must be durable and dependable. So we worked with key suppliers who produce frames for some of the top leading brands in the world to ensure that the quality and the craftsmanship was right up to the standards that we expect. Number 2 for us, it must be appropriate for South African races. This means it must have frame geometry that suits the style of riding and the South African rider. That is 100 to 120 mils worth of travel on a very much do-it-all platform, and it must have 2 water bottle cages inside the main triangle. Number 3 for us, it must have the right kind of suspension performance. Now, we were obviously able to take advantage of modern day technologies and suspension dampers, be it on forks and rear shocks, and combine that with one-by drivetrain systems that really allow suspension designs to be very active. It allowed us to get a layout and a suspension that really balances control, traction, and efficiency. Number 4 for us, it must be practical to service. We stayed away from any proprietary parts or niche standards, which seem to riddle our bicycle industry. This not only serves the consumer well, but also any of the mechanics working on the bikes at events or in store. Number 5, it must look great. We recognize that part of the enjoyment of purchasing, owning, and riding a bicycle is being attracted to the aesthetic. And it's a very, very important element. Now, number 6, it must offer good value. We stayed clear of any unnecessary market trends which would add costs that weren't going to give felt benefits to the rider. If there was anything that we were looking at, we would identify it, decide whether it was going to add value to the rider of the product. If not, we eliminated it, and in doing so, our aim is to bring a product that's focused on actual performance rather than ticking the boxes of unnecessary market hype. That's the bikes. We can obviously discuss more, anyone in person here after this presentation, we can kind of go into the details. It's an amazing platform that served 2 riders very, very well. And please join me in a round of applause to bring Ollie Pinner Munich and Rogan Smart, his partner, up to the stage. So Ollie and Rogan, thank you very much, guys. I think, we're very proud of what you achieved at the Epic, and it looks great in the photographs, but nothing quite tells the story like the first-hand account. So I think I want to start with you, Ollie, and can you just give us a bit of a rundown as to how you and Rogan's partnership actually came about?
Hi, everyone. So the most important element to riding the Epic is your partner, and it takes a long time to figure out kind of how you want to settle in, and your partner depends a lot on your goals. And we needed to go fast, but we also needed a rider who wasn't associated with a brand who would fit the Signal culture. And after going through a phone book and thinking about things on a many rides, Rogan picked up the phone and said, "Yeah, I'm in." And it happened to be his first Cape Epic, which was also quite a nice tie-in, because for the Spectre it was the bike's first race and Rogan's first edition. So I also needed someone who was going to be fast but wouldn't kill me. And it sounds funny, but if we had gone with a professional, so who would be much faster, say in the UCI top 20 or so, it just wouldn't have gelled. And Rogan turned out to be one of my best ever partners over the 13 epics I've ridden. And he's very calm, and he rides fast when he needs to. And he looked after me when I needed it. So I was very happy in the end with Rogan as a partner.
Can I just say that, from the outside looking in, we've watched Ollie take part in quite a few epics, and oftentimes you obviously get the hammer, the nail, the old South African sort of analogy for partnerships in stage racing. And I think it's not often that somebody gets Ollie on the ropes, and Ollie might not admit it, he's a proud individual, but I know that Rogan made him ride really, really hard, put it that way, this event. So it was really cool for us to see, because I think for Ollie, it was a nice challenge, a real nice sort of step up, and I think it worked out very well. Rogan, just from your side, can you just tell us a bit about the process of adapting to a new bike right before the biggest race of your life? And for context here, it's a new bike, so it's not like it was in the country for months and months. Rogan wasn't doing multiple training rides on it. He got on it quite soon before the event.
Yeah, how's it, guys? Adapting to the bike was, it was a quick, rushed process. I think we fetched the bikes ready to roll from East City Wednesday, RV, and then I rode it back to Ollie's house for the first time, like late on that Wednesday for my first test. Look, it was completely different. Like, I've been on the Blur for like 2 years now, and I haven't changed anything. So adapting to a whole new bike was completely different. But after 2-3 days on it, you get it used to different geometry. It had a bigger fork than I'm used to. The prologue was a quick way to learn how to handle that bike, trying to follow Ollie down the loose stuff, some sketchy overtakes through the traffic of what was the prologue chaos. And then, after 2 or 3 big stages, just became comfortable, normal, very, very impressed how it behaved, and can honestly say that it was fantastic.
He doesn't just have to say that, by the way. Look, Ollie, are you kind of able to give us a bit of an insight into how the rivalry developed for that sort of, when we found out that it was a category in the event, we decided that we'd like to give it a go for the top amateur spot, and I think you guys made a real good race out of it.
Yeah, so the Epic created what we'd like to think of as a working class hero category of people who work in the day and train in the dark, whether it be in the morning or the evening. And Rogan certainly, he fits that to a T, on his feet all day. And I, believe it or not, do work. I don't just ride my bike. You can ask my wife. The category, the Epic has always been focused on, say, the 5 men's and 5 women's team, and this year they decided to give a little bit of limelight to, the other couple of hundred teams who are out there battling it out every day. And we went in quietly, just wanting to go for that white jersey. And it turned out that it was a great battle. We had 2 roadies who were riding their first proper mountain bike stage race with glittering pro careers who had retired, and we did everything we could. They just were better. And we had these pesky Aussies like Shane and Steve Warren, Shane Warren, just thinking all the time. And they came for us day 3, 4, and we just like cannot let these guys beat us. And in the rain on Lawrenceford, they came through, and I was struggling, and They went ahead and we caught back up, and then they got stuck in the mud, and that was that. Put them in the coffin. One for the, yeah. But they were very nice oaks, but we were very happy to have cemented our position second overall, and 2 stage wins in that category was fantastic. It's taken me a long time to get onto the podium at the Epic, and it was a great feeling.
I must just add, so I was, during some of my meetings in Taipei, while the guys were racing, I was sort of trying to watch the live timing and the live stream on it. And on one of the days, I happened to be sitting next to Dave Evans from SRAM, who's an Australian, and we were watching the live action unfold, and I said to him, geez, man, you know, I didn't know the 2 guys who were sort of in the lead of the amateur category that Ollie and Rogan were dicing it out with. And I said, listen, these guys are strong, because I know Ollie and Rogan, I know Slouch on a bike. And he looked at me and he said, Sam, they are not amateurs. He's like, 2 years ago, whenever it was, they were on the world tour on the roadside. He's like, they still ride their bikes full time. These oaks might claim they've got jobs, but their job is to ride their bike. So he was incredibly impressed with what Ollie and Rogan had done, and it kind of validated the close nature of the racing even more, because those guys have got firepower in their legs. You know, like Ollie said, he really does work. He's a great asset to the team, and obviously Rogan works at one of our dealers down in Plet, and you know, I know he's working an 8 to 5 job, so it's really impressive what these guys did. I know a lot of you here were either directly or indirectly involved with this by working at the Epic, but I think my next question maybe will give you a little bit of PTSD, but Ollie, Rogan, can you guys talk us through the conditions on stage 5? And obviously, you alluded to it earlier, Ollie. It was when you were able to clasp your first category stage win in the Epic, and it was on arguably the toughest day.
It was one of those days we got to Oak Valley and we thought, oh, the stage has to be cancelled. And then it wasn't, and within a couple of seconds, you just covered in mud, your sunglasses are a bit down because they missed it over. And then we started ascending Groenlandberg in a river, and we climbed for about an hour and a half, and it was a river from bottom to top. And if you've ridden Groenlandberg, it's got a first peak and then a second peak, and the downhill to get to the second peak there just was no track. And you just put your heels down and you grip till you grip and rip. And it was, I didn't speak to Rogan, but I was hoping he was behind me, and he was, which was great. And we threw caution to the wind, and we got a gap on our pesky Aussies and Boswell and the Mullet. And we rode through, and then the climb, the guys came back they got big engines. But on the downhill, we were in hell for leather. And I think Rogan died twice. Yeah, almost. But we made it to the bottom and through the feed zone, and then we just never stopped. And we never looked back, and we clawed about 8 minutes into the guys as we went over into Lawrenceford. It was a fantastic feeling. It was brilliant. And it takes your partnership, the equipment, and you sometimes just need to believe. So it was fantastic. The conditions were just out of control, and you need to trust in your equipment. When you can't see the track and you're basically just riding through a river like the guys in Stellenbosch today with the Eerste Rivier, it's pretty much felt like we were on a boat. So all in all, that's stage 5, and then we had stage 6, which was even worse. Maybe Rose can give you some insight.
Yeah, I think stage 5 was, after that stage, I decided that was the most insane day I've ever had on my bike, and then it rained a whole lot more when we lined up for stage 6. I'm sure you guys saw the videos of, the back markers might have had it worse than us after more rain, but that was something special. I think it was less than 80 Ks, like 78 Ks or something. Probably took us, I think we averaged less than 20 Ks an hour and going full tilt. The climbs, yeah, just riding up rivers, down rivers, no brake pads after like the first 20 Ks. And it was cold. It actually got surprisingly cold. I think Ollie struggled in the cold more. It's not, yeah, that was not a fun stage. But that's definitely the worst day. Yeah.
Look, I know that most people here are dealers, and it was great for bike brake pad business. If you could get, that is. Look, I think it broke some people's will and spirits. I think there was probably some people who left the bike industry after that. But look, stage 5 was unbelievable, and you guys crossed the line over into Val de Vie with your second, category stage win, which was unbelievable for us to see. I mean, we were able to get some great imagery there. So, Ollie Rogan, from our side, a brilliant effort out there. Like you always say, Ollie, these bikes don't pedal themselves, and you guys did a sterling job, and, you made us all very proud, so thank you so much. A round of applause for Ollie and Rogan, guys.
Thanks, guys.
So what I am going to just do is give a very, very brief recap to the intro. So for everyone who joined us and who is coming in live, thanks for tuning in. It's terrible weather in the Cape at the moment, but we're making do. It's been a fantastic year for us already, in spite of the challenges. And I'm going to give you sort of a bit of an understanding as to what we've got coming up in Q3, Q4 of this year. So sticking with Signal bikes, we've developed a new Signal CI. And what you will see now is the introduction of a new slogan of ours called Real Racing. Now, Real Racing is core to the brand, and we think it embodies the evolution of Signal bikes. You'll be seeing it on packaging, in advertisements, and obviously on products in the future. It's gritty, it's emotive, and it's real. And I wanted to introduce that to you guys this evening. What you will see there will be a comprehensive range that we are launching under the Signal brand, which we are expecting to arrive in January 2024 in South Africa. This is part of our new look and our feel, and obviously there's a lot more to the range, but we just wanted to give you guys an understanding as to how it's going to be packaged and what the general look and feel is going to be. The other question on people's tongue at the moment is the Signal Spectre and when that's going to be launched, and we're expecting that for a January 2024 launch, if not sooner. We just don't want to overcommit. So that's on Signal bikes. We're going to move down onto Apex bikes, and as far as Apex go, I just wanted to give you guys in attendance today an understanding as to the graphic direction for our MY24 Apex bikes, which we are looking to land going into the summer trading months. What you will notice is that we used an evolution of the same color palette. Now, anyone who's been in bicycles for a long time knows that consumers remember colors and often buy according to color. Brandon has told me the story many times, and you guys probably remember this too, but the RC3000 Rally used to be blue, and the RC2000 used to be yellow, and people would walk in and ask for the yellow or the blue bike. Now, Apex is no different. We've kept the evolution of the original color palette and moved it into a new graphic style. We've also got some very positive spec changes coming to the Apex range. So on our A900 bikes, we've got Shimano specs, and on our A600 bikes, we've got a one-by system that we're introducing, and we're doing that to allow the transition from our A400, which is our 24-inch bike, onto the A600, which is our 26 bike, to be smoother for the parent and obviously the child. Something that we're airing for the first time this evening with you guys in attendance is that our Cycloplus range of products is going to be collapsed into the Apex brand. For us, Apex brand is going to be housing all of our volume-based product, and I think it's part of our consolidation and our streamlining plan in our business. Moving on to Maxxis, and I think the most pertinent thing for this evening on Maxxis is the next stock arrival is coming on the 26th of June. It's got all of the volume Marathon and XC tires, and it's also got a greater range of the popular Maxxis tubeless road tire. A very important thing at the moment on Maxis is that lead times have come down on production, and we're looking at about 45 to 60 days. And what this means for us is that our stock continuity should be vastly improved in the coming months. I mustn't get too carried away talking about tire tech. I haven't known to do that. But another real sort of important concept I wanted to introduce this evening was the new Max Speed tire compound. Now, in lab tests, the new Max Speed compound has got about a 30% lower rolling resistance than its predecessor. Now, in real world terms, should I say, it has the potential to save a rider up to 1 minute on a 90-minute cross-country race, which is quite significant. So there'll be select models available at the end of this month with the new Max Speed compound. Moving on to enduro bearings, we're also doing a very big drive on the premium products that continue to set enduro apart from the rest. These include the XD15 ceramic bearings and obviously the new Maxit bottom brackets and headsets. These are becoming far more popular in the discerning cyclist's mind in South Africa, so we're seeing a really nice uptake there. Following on from the lifetime guarantee that Enduro offers on their premium products, we decided to embark on a 6-month, no questions asked warranty on our regular ABEC 3, ABEC 5, and Max bearings. And that's a really big sort of change that we've implemented this year. Obviously, over and above this too, we've embarked on a very comprehensive product training sort of campaign led by Andre. And the intention of this is upskilling workshop staff and sales staff and bike shops to be able to understand bearing technology, explain to the customer that not all bearings are created equal, and really give a very comprehensive understanding of a product range that's often forgotten about. Now, moving on to, in short, the Pond Bike performance brands. Now, as a whole, Pond Bike portfolio for us grew this year with the addition of Cervelo. And for us, it now means we can offer some of the fastest, most aerodynamic and performance-driven bikes, not only in the mountain and gravel segments now, but also in the road, tri, and TT segments, and obviously the ever-growing e-bike segment. From there, BAT, Beto, and KMC, these are staples in the bicycle industry and stuff that's used every day in bike stores. Noteworthy from our side is our new tubeless valves that are in the range, and obviously a new tubeless package that we've put together that includes valves, rim tapes, and sealant for easy billing in the workshop or for retail purposes. And I think one of the most important things and take-homes from this evening for us is that our goal and our mission is quite simple. We want to be the #1 supplier to owner-managed bike shops in this country. We've got the product in our portfolio to do it. We've got the backing of international A-grade brands. We've got a very good mix of experience and new energy, and I think we're on the way to getting that done. Thank you very much for everyone who's tuned in and watched. Thank you guys for coming. For all of our dealers here, there is more food available. We are around. There's a restaurant upstairs, which we'll obviously, we can migrate to after this. And I really just want to take the time to say thank you. We are looking forward to continuing to grow and find new opportunities and working with you guys, our beloved South African retailer network. Thank you very much, guys.